And now, although we might be a day late for Star Wars Day, it is now my pleasure to bring to the podium this evening's commencement speaker, Dr. Joshua Montgomery, and his sidekick.
In life, you should have walk-up music, right? Yeah, you give some applause to that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Boys. Thank you, administration. Thank you, students. Thank you, faculty, guests, our staff in the back. Thank you so much. It is both an honor and a privilege to get a chance to speak with you tonight. You know, I bet I know what you're thinking right now. Number one, what is this robot and what does it have to do with my graduation? That's probably some of you, right? You put your hands up, students, if that's part of that group. Thank you so much, appreciate that. Or number two, oh my God, it's R2-D2. Who's in that group? All right, there's more people with the hands up. That's great, thank you. I'll have him here later for pictures. Today I want to tell you two stories. That's it, just two stories of my life. My first story starts in 1996. I'm a senior at Paint Valley High School. Go Bearcats. There we go, get some Bearcats up there. I see you guys up there, fantastic. I was not sure what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I wanted to do something with computers. That probably shouldn't surprise you. Late in my senior year, my girlfriend informs me that she is pregnant and I'm the father. This is traumatic news for a student, for a young person. Now, I believe a child is a blessing. However, a lot of things went through my head. I was too young. I didn't have any money. I lived with my parents. I'm just a kid myself. All these things went through my head, and I remember thinking, this is not fair. While graduating class, life's just not fair sometimes, right? I don't recall spending a lot of time in self-pity, but I do remember thinking, no matter the challenge, I'm going to push toward my dreams. No challenge will define me. I work to be a great father and the best person I could be no matter the cost, because see, either you rise to a challenge you have in your life, or life has a funny thing of going over you. The challenge will rise over you. I chose to rise to that challenge. I went to college better to support my new baby girl's life. I didn't know it at the time, but I made one of the best decisions of my life. I came to Southern State Community College. It was close to my home and had a degree program that I wanted to take. The next few years were tough. Having a baby, taking classes, working, spending time with my new family, that was just not easy. And like everyone here, I had to make sacrifices, and sometimes that didn't work out too well. I'm willing to bet every student that's graduating tonight had to overcome some type of adversity to wear these robes. You had some failure to overcome, some hurdles to jump, something you had to do. My story is no different than most of my Southern State alumni over here that's gone through the same process. You know what? To get to the point, you had to learn one critical skill. You had to learn to never quit. I'm sure you had a class that you didn't want to take. And a thought ran through your head, why am I doing this? Well, you're doing this because you matter. Education matters. See, I always like to say that an education is an investment in you, and that investment is always worth it. After tonight, as we've talked about it previously, you'll have a degree from an accredited college that no one can take away from you. You'll have that for the rest of your life. During my 2 years at Southern State, I met some amazing administrators, professors, staff members. They made me feel like this place was my home, which probably worked out pretty well for me because I basically lived here for those 2 years. I was a lab assistant at the same time. I was fortunate to have multiple mentors throughout my journey. So I wanted to aspire to be as knowledgeable as my IT director, Dennis Griffith, and my computer science professor, Virginia Ferguson. I'm sure some of you still remember. I wanted to be as innovative as librarian Louis Mays. I wanted to have the same sense of community as Ken Shaw and Bill Horn. Like many of you here today, I had mentors I aspired to be like. People that guided me, cared for me, and taught me. You know, let's fast forward. It's 1998. It's graduation day. I'm literally in these seats with you. I remember being very excited. I don't remember a lot about my graduation ceremony. I do not remember my commencement speaker, by the way, so you probably won't remember me. You'll probably remember the robot. That's what you'll remember. Hey, a guy brought a robot out. We'll talk about that later. But that's fine. That's not what's important. What's important is what I remember after that happened. I remember I was walking down hallway 400 over here, and over to my side is Louis Mays. He's the librarian I spoke about a few seconds ago. And we're walking down the hallway, and I remember very vividly, I pulled on his master's hood here. I said, Louis, one of these days, I'm going to get one of these hoods. And then I looked at one of the other professors walking by and had this silly hat on. I said, one of these days, I'm going to get that silly hat. Well, it only took me 23 years, Louis, but as of last Christmas, I got this silly hat. You know, it took me a little longer than most. That's fine. Getting the highest level of education was a dream of mine, and it's okay if it took longer than others. I've learned that it's okay if you failed a certain program, if you get tripped up, that's fine. The key to life is to never quit. Never quit on your dreams. If you have a dream, a goal, a project that is important to you, then you pursue it. Don't let anyone tell you that your dream is not valid, that you can't do it, that you're not smart enough. You can't do it because you don't go to the right school, or look at you now. You're all graduating with an associate degree. That's a giant check mark that no one can ever take away from you. Okay, speaking of dreams, my second story starts in 2015. Yep, I'm going to talk about my little guy down here now. This little guy here is R2-D2 from the 1977 movie Star Wars. I'll roll him around a little bit. He is mic'd up, by the way. Well, I built this guy, and you're probably thinking, you built this? You didn't buy this from a kit? Yeah, I built this. It took me 2.5 years to build him, and I will say building him was not an easy challenge. I either had to go through a process of machining my own parts or cutting my own aluminum. It was a journey. This little robot here weighs 200 pounds of steel and aluminum. He is an exact replica of the robot from the 1977 movie. I'll go ahead and answer a couple of questions. I would just get 2 questions when I take R2 out someplace, and here's the first one. How much did he cost to build? I literally had this question 2 seconds ago when I brought him out of there. How much did that cost? Well, great question. He cost about what a good used car would cost, okay? Now, I don't know for sure because if I calculated it up, I'd owe my wife over there probably a couple extra expensive purses. So I don't know if I want to find out. My second question, oddly enough, has to deal with my wife. Are you still married? So, funny enough, when I built this robot, news outlets would grab my wife and take her to the side and ask, are you okay with this? Is this fine with you? I think they were wondering if I was A, in trouble, or B, if she's planning to divorce me. So yes, I am still married, and I have married that wonderful woman sitting over there, right there. Go ahead and wave at my wife. Everybody, just wave. Fine, wave. It's fine. One person, 2. There's a couple people. Thank you. Thank you, wave. Talk to my wife. Thank you so much. So why did I do this? I mean, build the robot, not marry my wife. Why did I build the robot? So back to that. Well, it's probably no shock to you that I have been a nerd my entire life. I saw a video of a few guys building a replica of R2-D2, and I'm obviously a huge Star Wars nerd, and thought, wanted to get into robotics, could I do this? Well, it was possible. I looked into it. There's builders clubs for almost anything, including R2-D2, and trust me when I tell you this, building this droid right here was an exercise of failures for me. I broke almost everything that you see with this guy. He's fine now though, right? Good noises? You know, lucky for me and lucky for R2 here, I never quit. After some time, successes started to build, and before you know it, he was done. After those 2.5 years, I was very excited to share him with absolutely everybody I could. There's something happened to me. After building R2, I felt that I could do anything. I have news for you, graduating class. The more check marks you build, the more projects you complete, the more degrees you earn, the more you can feel you can do anything. You know why you feel that way? Because you can. You can do anything you set your mind to. You can do anything you set your mind to because success breeds more success, and it's 100% okay to fail. Heck, I failed multiple times in life. It does not mean that I will fail at my next project. This just means it's going to take me just a little bit longer to accomplish my dreams. It took me 23 years to earn this little silly hat. It took me 2.5 years to build that robot. And to be honest, I'm still working on him, but that's okay. Just as long as I don't quit. See, you could use these life lessons and those hurdles, those failures, those obstacles, and jump them to achieve your dreams. One of the biggest problems that I see with people in our area, students that I have, is they see something like this and they say, I can't. I'm not. That I'm not is the biggest hurdle we have to jump because we use that I'm not smart enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm not going to the right school. I'm not able to make enough time. We put these blocks and we put these hurdles in front of ourselves, and before you know it, those dreams aren't possible because we've put them in front of us. See, if you tell yourself that enough times, that something is not important, before long, you'll believe it. Don't let anyone alter your dream. Whatever your dream is in your life, it has value, and therefore you should move toward it. For me, wear this funny little hat. Because the critical piece is never quit. Keep failing, keep overcoming adversity, keep pushing. And I promise, one day, maybe many years from now, no matter what you have to do, you'll be able to accomplish that dream. I mean, heck, you have one dream down already, right? You're now graduates of Southern State Community College. I'm excited to call all of you my fellow alumni. Thank you, graduating class of 2022. Never quit.
Thank you, Dr. Montgomery.